Hello, everyone. Very happy that we have another young Indian with us, part of the Voice of the Young series. Right now, we have with us Ashish Yadav. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Ashish.
Talking about my background, I'm from Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh, India. So, I have my primary education there. So I have studied till 12th, and then I went to Lucknow, the capital city of Uttar Pradesh, India, because yeah, in the search of more opportunities, better education institutes. So I have prepared 1 year for engineering, and I was searching other options. So while searching other options, I realized what I have to do. In like I have made some decisions at that in that 1 year. So I went to Delhi University with I have enrolled myself in a center called Cluster Innovation Center, where it's a very new concept about education, because it was catering the need of like we have seen academy a difference of academia and the society. So now, like after the education from there, we were talking a lot about the difference between what education is teaching us and what society needs from us. So sometimes I'm worried, like I'll tell the stories, and I will talk about myself between that. So when people was accusing Kanhaiya Kumar about their education, he is doing PhD till 30. So if you have to do PhD, you will need that years. So I was concerned about that, how societies now what's the time society is uh, perceiving the uh, well-read person, a PhD guy, in a negative manner. So there is a difference that we have created between the academia and society, and it's happened a long way. Like when I talked to my grandfather, uh, he talked about if someone is doing have done BSc or MA or la, a degree like that, he has a respect. He or she has a respect in his village or in his block. But now the table has turned on. People were saying it's better to be an IITian, or it's better to do a BTech, so you will able to contribute in the economy very soon. So around that, the education was around that only. So we have a project which in which we have to solve a real life problem. So we have the education like other colleges. We have to in one semester we have to take 4 papers, but we have one real problems in the project. So what we have to solve. So the concept of that cluster in cluster innovation center really appealed me. So I was in a college of Dayal Singh College of Delhi University, and then I moved to Cluster Innovation Center. So the idea was very good, and then when I entered, it was a meta college concept. So you have to go another like different colleges to study different papers. So I went to Sri Ram College of Commerce, Hindu. So I have to see different kind of students, engage with them, and it's always a new challenge for me. In every semester, a new college, a new colleagues. So I sometimes I think that contributed me to be an extrovert, because I can't live in that cell. So yeah, every time like I get I am when I'm Sri Ram College of Commerce, it has a like cream brain, what we call a cream brain of the country, studying economics, and I have to compete with them. So I have to be like them, and then suddenly I'm in Hindu and reading another course. So it is a very good experience as per well, in that time. So which evolved me a lot. And then we have as I was telling about, we have a project called when we have to see a problem or a thing to solve or write. So we have worked on Hafta Bazaars. So me and we have a team which who has done a primary like basic work on weekly market. So weekly markets is a market which happen in any weeks of India. It's a very Indian thing. You will have a cheap and fresh vegetables around your roads and corners of the places which is empty in the area. So we were studying that. Like we have we have published paper around that. We have article around that. See how it works in the economic senses, and we also try to explore that in a culture and socio-economic way. So it was very interesting to see how weekly markets are functioning beyond economics. So it's more about intermingling of culture, intermingling of socio-economic factors. So after doing the graduation from there, I have a like a thought that I have to work in social sector somewhere policy or somewhere like that. So after doing graduation from there, so it kind of at that time I have a very good exposure of mingling people, doing interviews, talking to bureaucrats, talking to policymakers, because if we are working on something, we have to reach out people. So after that, I have joined Azim Premji University for my master's program. So I have done masters, and along with that, I was involved with many internships, projects. During that, the projects and internships were the thing which connects us in the uh, classrooms, because classrooms are totally different. If
Yes.
we are talk, yeah, if we are talking about classrooms, we are talking how the small difference in language can be problematic,
Yes.
can be anti-feminist. And when you read, see the society, and that's the whole again different story.
Yeah.
So commonly, when we when we have done like 5 years of education without seeing society, and we will very frustrated. So by like we are thinking we should use feminist language, we have to command on the language, so nobody hurt, no discriminative language, non-violence communication we have to do. This is the thing we have learned in our colleges, and as soon as we are out of colleges, all the learnings are gone, and it's a tough world to survive. So after doing my masters and some work with the sister organizations of UN as a project basis, or as an internship, or as a volunteer, I joined an organization called Pradhan. So I was deeply interested in work in social sector, but I wanted to work on grassroots first before I'm consulting others to what will be the good for rural India. So like I always have a problem with the personalities, with the persons who never been to rural India for 2 months and discussing the problems of rural India, like in a bits and pieces manner, because I think you should be there to see the complexities of the situation, which we can see only when we are there. So there is a story of like it's an anecdote in people. Some scientists and research groups went to South Africa, and they found a good land with good soil and water, and they were thinking how these people are. They are not cultivating this good land which has water available there. But so they started doing the research, and then they didn't consult the rural people and the people living there. They just go there and they use their technologies, and they have a huge production there. And another day they do not find anything there, because it was attached to the forest, and all the wild animals came and destroyed the crops. So sometimes I feel when someone came from all around have experience about urban spaces and come to rural India and talk about the solutions. So I like sometimes I feel frustrated. So matlab, I say to them some things. Do you really think we haven't think about that? So if we have land, good soil, and like the example, we have good soil and we have water. do the people never think about we should cultivate this because they have the experience. There are many wild animals. So for that, so I don't become, I don't be like that. So I started working with the organization. It's a renowned organization in social sector, Pradhan. I started my professional journey, formal professional journey from there. So uh, they have the same concept. So we have to live for 3 months in the village just to see the village, see the livelihood, see what's going on all around. What are the factors? What are the institutions? What are the discriminations? How their cultural practices? So with the 3 months I have done there, and there are many questions in the mind that time also, currently also. So if we are doing this much work, we are surviving in rural India, we have good education, and will anyone acknowledge our work? So sometimes I'm riding my bike and thinking if it's a very forest uh, dense area. So sometimes I do ride my bike. I'm going to any village to make plan for their village and thinking in mind if any wild animal will attack and I will be killed. No, do anyone acknowledge that Ashish from Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh was working here to improve some things and he died with this. So sometimes you have a question. See, like I have these aspirations. I don't want to be in a number. When when there was a COVID, I was always a thought. People were around. People in rural India, people were saying that there is nothing of COVID attack, but everyone is sneezing, coughing, but they deny things. We do not have COVID because we have power immunities, and then sometimes media also denies because if you acknowledge, you have to send the resources also. So it's better to not acknowledge things. So I was thinking in that time, I was in the a block called Paraswada in Balaghat. So I was thinking, ki, will if we will die, so will like I will be counted as number because there was all
Yeah.
all thing
Yeah.
government has a pressure to reduce the number. So will so the desire is limited to that only. It's okay to be killed, it's okay to be dead, but at least we should be counted
Yeah. Yeah.
in the death numbers.
Hmm.
So perhaps like you are living alone, you are doing you are meeting too much people and you are surrounded by the problems of rural India, and you are the one who has to think the solution. So you will go and travel through these kind of thoughts all around. So after understanding the context, the thing I have worked with the that organization for around 3.5 years. 3.5 years, travel with them, talk to them, and so many times people the we as a social worker we have a thing we go to the communities and we tell them what to do. But organization and I also have these thing. We'll talk what can be done. So the the approach worked very well. The approach worked very well. We talked with the communities, villagers, and able to solve some problems. Some in my career, I think I have been a part of around 3,000 acre of plantations. So when you count your journey and you think you sometimes you have to quantify. So I have
Yeah.
yeah. So I have been a part of uh, journey when I'm contributed in around 3,000 acres of
Hmm.
plantations. So like that, and around 5 acres of water related projects where
Mhm.
with the help of like I was the team member where many projects were there. We helped villagers, we helped uh, institutions to work on water, and the people get accessibility, improve the livelihoods of some people. So that's the major matlab in when we work as a social worker work in rural India. This is our fuel. We
Okay.
see some changes, we are able to visualize some changes, and there's the feel for community also.
Yeah.
There is some guy who claimed to be a social worker, who claimed to be a helper, came to us and took this much time of our and what he has done. So the visualization of that impact really helped uh, as a person, as a social worker. So around that currently so I started writing also on LinkedIn. So why like grassroots organizations have very less presence as per now also because we are living in a uh, uh, other part of India, you can say in the non-political sense. So so we are living out cut out from the major cities. So sometimes we were cut from the mainstream things. What is happening in the CSRs? What is happening in the consultancies? I'm especially talking about development consultancies. I'm very afraid about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to survive in that atmosphere. We have new buzzwords. We have new things all around, and it's sometimes it's late when it reaches to us. And sometimes we are so indulged with the community, we are not able to bother about that.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, so during that, what I was doing to minimize these impacts or mitigate these implications, I joined many different courses online. So there was I'm a UPG sustainability leader. So where around the people from 150 countries was there discussing about problems of their world, discussing about solutions. So these kind of people. I'm a climate change leader also. Uh, yeah, so there is a organization called Climate Leaders in US. So I was with them also. So basically I wanted to connect with them. So globally, I know what is happening. So these were the things. So now I am in an organization called TRI, Transform Rural India is the name. So we were majorly are in the business of the idea of organization is to do multi-sector change because we have idea that if poverty is multidimensional, we need a multi-sector solutions also. So as I was talking about my graduation journey, the journey is same and the development studies I have done, the concept is same. You can't solve a complex problem with the economy. So because many organizations have the livelihood vertical only, and they say ki if we increase the livelihood of the person, it will ultimately transition into health and education, which is not true for always. So this organization thinks in a multi-sectoral way, and we design a solution for rural India, which is scalable. So if we are people working in something, we are efficient or well-read people working in something, and we design a problem, we design a solution which we can implement. Then it will be not as efficient as or not as productive as it can be. So we are in the business of designing that solution, scalable solution. So if it's working in the block of visa Dandi where I'm living. So it can work in at least some localities of MP, which has the same demography, which has the same landscape. At least it will be working in there. So currently I'm working with that where we are working with very government structures, community
Mm-hmm.
based organizations and institutions
Mm-hmm.
around the same. So journey was very enriching. Like every day you observe things, you uh, think about many things. So you have regularly you have stories. It's not just simple of like if someone is listening me after that, it's not just going to 9 to 5 job. If you're going through the roads of like if especially talking about Bija and if you're going to your village, you have a lot things to observe in between that how the lands are working, how the uh, water structures were there, how people are working and surviving, how which kind of birds you can see here, which kinds of animals you can see in the journey. So it's a very different and a very exotic work we are doing, and we meet different people. Some has different intention, some has another type of intention. And working with community and working with institutions, working is always a difficult task, because you can't survive, you can't talk the needs of everyone all the time, but you have to manage it like that. Everyone is at least satisfied that uh, we are uh, we are having the conversation, and it will be fruitful in some senses.
Okay, it's very good. You told me you want to give some message and anecdote in Hindi, so let's have it.
Oh, so yeah. सो एक्चुअली जैसे हम लोग जब काम पे जाते हैं तो कभी कभी बड़ा कभी कभी ऐसा हो जाता है कि दिमाग में बड़ा द्वंद चलता रहता है। द्वंद, आप तक कई तरीके के थॉट्स आते रहते हैं। तो एक एग्जांपल उदाहरण मैं बताऊंगा। मैं एक दीदी के घर पे बैठा था। तो हम लोग एक्चुअली समूहों के साथ में काम करते हैं, सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स के साथ में काम करते हैं, जो 12 मतलब फॉर द ऑडियंस 12 महिलाओं का एक समूह होता है जो अपना पैसा जमा करते हैं और उससे यूज करते हैं। तो वहां पे मैं बैठा हुआ था एक दीदी के साथ में। तो वो दीदी ऐसी दीदी थी कि जो सबको इंगेज करने में, पूरे कम्युनिटी को साथ लाने में बहुत वर्क मतलब बहुत मेहनत करती थी। तो मैं उनके यहाँ पे बैठा, उनके यहाँ पे चाय पिया, उन्होंने ही सब लोगों को इकट्ठा किया। एंड नाउ जो एक एक सवाल आया जिसमें वो दीदी गलत थी। तो हाँ, मेरे दिमाग में बहुत चल रहा था कि ये दीदी को मुझे गलत कहना है। मैं इनके घर पे बैठा हूँ, इनके यहाँ पे चाय पी है, एंड शी इज हेल्पिंग मी टू गैदर ऑल दी पीपल। तो इस तरीके का सिचुएशन जब हम काम करते हैं, स्पेसिफिकली विद द कम्युनिटीज, इस तरीके का सिचुएशन बहुत ज्यादा रहता है। तो वो ऐसे मेरे दिमाग में है कि आई स्ट्रगल द लॉट। आई डिड द राइट थिंग। बोला कि दीदी जो आप कर रहे हो, दैट्स नॉट द राइट वे। मैंने वो दीदी को बताया। पर वो एक काफी 15 मिनट तक द्वंद्व चला कि ये दीदी अपना पर्सनल टाइम निकाल के लोगों को इकट्ठा करती है, गांव की बात करती है, और इसी के यहाँ पे मैं आता हूँ तो इससे एंगेज होता हूँ, ये मुझे चाय पिलाती है। तो वो सारी चीजें दिमाग में चल रही थी। और उसके साथ ही साथ मुझे ऐसा डिसीजन लेना था वो जो दीदी के अगेंस्ट में है। तो इस तरीके का काफी सिचुएशन आता रहता है जब हम बात करते हैं। एंड वही मैं कह रहा था ना, एवरी डे इज अ न्यू स्टोरी for us. So if you have lenses, so currently uh, uh, like currently we have a very huge problem of crop destroyed by wild animals. So you have to see that we were working on productivity, but what about the safety? So uh, almost I have seen, you must have seen field huts, uh, different kinds of field huts. Farmers build in their fields to protect the farms. So for me, when I observe this, I find that are the protector of crops, that are the protectors of our food, because farmers and we can say that farmers second home also, because they are living there for a long time. So I was talking up to a farmer. He was saying कि भैया, आप तीन तीन महीने काम करो और आपकी सैलरी ना आए, आप कैसा लगेगा? और 3 महीने मैंने क्रॉप लगाई और एक दिन में गायब हो गया।
हाँ,
और स्पॉटेड डियर करके, वाइल्ड, क्योंकि वाइल्ड एरिया, स्पॉटेड डियर हिरन आया और उसने पूरी क्रॉप
हाँ,
चट कर गया। तो ऐसे ही वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट द इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट्स ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर। तो so that the risk factor is also very high, which we are not talking about, and that's why people are leaving. It's not. I was reading a research of Madhya Pradesh around youth interested in agriculture. You have a very minimal population who is interested to agriculture, because that's the cost. Now, climate change are at peak. uh, monsoons are delayed or inappropriate. So you will have a 15 rain in the beginning, and then you will have a very lesser amount of rain in the last. So it's impacting the crop. And then you have a wild animal, you have a stray animals problem. So these are actually problems, the farmers are dealing with. And these are very complex issues. We have to save the forest also, we have to save the wild animals, and we have to save the crop also. We
Yeah,
can't take one way. So
yeah,
these are some complex, and we need the efficient solution. And sometimes I also think कि मुझे मे बी किसी दूसरे तरीके से आई हैव ज्वाइंड social work after working 10 years of corporate, or working as an engineer for 10 years, because it's almost every time romanticized in social work. We were working with a good package, and then I have seen some problems of India, and I have changed my mind, and I come to the village and doing this. No problem with that. But like when I think about myself, I choose the career. So I do not have this rosy story to tell. When I have seen this child or this old woman, where I felt like we have to work for the social. And sometimes I think when I didn't get the enough acknowledgement for our work. So sometimes it's the way. And I always advocate about the social workers. The social workers should pay, uh, should get salary more, should get efficient knowledge of knowledge about technologies and the other things. We should be very trained, which is not the case in the current Indian scenario. So it feels like it's a social work. Anyone can do this.
yeah.
Yeah, what is this? NGO walas distributing some things, talking about a government is doing, they are talking about, and they are always the one who is creating the problem about the good work anyone is doing. So basically, we are seeing like that only with the jhola, uh, roaming around and talking to the people. But what I uh, see the future, I think like I want, we are a professionals. We will be efficient in our work. We'll use technology, and we are the one who are solving the complex problem, because it's not just the one subject. Nah, it's uh, like you called a meeting, and sometimes it will be on. You have to do a village meeting, and you want around 150 people there, and there will be 15 people only,
Yeah.
because yeah, in any reason, it can be any reason. This in software you do not have this kind of uh, unexpected things working. So we have to deal with this complex issues, and we need to be very trained around that. So like I always think the social workers should be trained more, should be paid more, should be able to problem specific complex problem,
Mm-hmm.
which I think we are not able to do, as per now as a country. But I think in the future we have a better future. We have a better always uh, I always follow the trends. I'm using AI from around 1.5 years, because it's a new thing. It can solve our problem. It can be make me more productive in my work. So why shouldn't we use this? And I think it's the social sector which adopt these kind of technologies at the last. But now things are changing. It's not just me. Things are changing, and social workers, the social impact sectors are changing, and we are adopting tools, technologies very fast, which will really help us to solve complex problems. Will be our extended hand to do that.
Well, thank you so much, Ashish, uh, for exposing the realities of what to do and how to do it in rural India. I think you have given us, or at least me, a very clear sense that what does it mean to try to improve things. So it's really very helpful, and I think you've told it very well without any mirch masala added. It's just straight, we get it, we understand it. But let me ask you, what tips do you have for young people?
So for young people, what I follow also, and for the young people, always take care about your physical, mental, and economic well-being. These are three things you have to always worry about. If you are physically fit, mentally fit, and mentally fit, as in I'm counting also कि you read, you do the uh, thinking also in the sense, and also the mental issues we are surrounded with, and the economic well-being, because uh, it's the economics which with you can think about your physical well-being and mental well-being. So these three you have to be solid and keep learning, exploring things. It's fun when you explore things, when you look out, observe things. Uh, then it be fun. Otherwise, the same world is revolving. You can see in the same sense, people are going to work and they are earning and they come back. And if you think about your job like this, it will be boring. There is a lot of content to watch on every platform. There is Netflix, Instagram, uh, and so that it will life will be boring with these kind of content also. So go to observe, be empathetic, because everyone has their own struggle to do. Be empathetic in work, be empathetic in your personal spaces. We are and we are in a we as a youth in a transition space. My father went for I think 5 years. He was away from the home, and he always settled in the home. And for me, it has been 5 or 9 years I'm away from home, living alone. So we have uh, we have become emotionally mature, but sometimes we need support. That's why I'm saying be empathetic around the people you have. That's all the thing, and things are changing. You have to evolve with that. Sometimes we are stuck around, and be patient also, because Instagram, basically, in fact, I go Instagram has uh, it's a small features to watching reels. It has decreased our patience levels. So be patient. Thing will work ultimately. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ashish. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah. So what you were talking about, the elder listen to younger self. So when, like, if quoting an example, when I meet the experienced social workers, people, they talk about their work, and they say, "Ki, we were working like that. You should work like that." So I always encounter with that, and we have good arguments around that. If the things have changed, now people have smartphones, people have internet to the farthest locality. So now, for example, I have an example. So I'm in a very cut, like block which is very backward in many senses. So I went to uh, around say 30 kilometers farther from here, and there I have seen people were mimicking or dancing around a thing which has done in South Africa.
Hmm.
So the information access is that much, and in that information access, we have to think around, and we have to uh, change in that scenario. So now things are changing, and we have to talk. It's not about elder younger divide. Both the things, not elder younger divide, and the what you were talking about, elder younger divide, and the academia and society divides. I'm very concerned about that.
Okay.
Academia should have many things where we were exposing students to the real world. So
Yeah.
they have the sense what we are doing and what we have to do. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashish. It's been a pleasure to listen to you. Keep doing the great work you are doing, and hopefully you can have a bigger scale and impact, as you said, replicable work so that it goes to multiple blocks. That is really needed at this time because it's just helping one is not going to be enough. I wish, let's see how you succeed. And let's end it here today. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Bye, everybody.